So Joe Gallagher says that Anthony Yarde is not an option for Callum Smith right now. He says the fact that Yarde turned down the eliminator with Hosea Burton, who is a Gallagher-trained fighter, that rules him out for 12 to 18 months to fight for the British title. I'm not quite understanding that. Is he saying that Callum Johnson cannot fight a voluntary for the British title? I'm sure he can. Or is he saying that the belt is going to be tied up with mandatories for 12 to 18 months? Doubt that very much. See, this is all I was saying. I was coming from that old school train of thought. And it's not like, I'm asking people to fight with smaller gloves and fight 100 rounds. But why is the British title stopping them from fighting? You can't fight a non-title fight. A 10-rounder. Just have a 10-round non-title fight. But everything is a title. That's an 80s phenomenon. That's what that is. But nevertheless, he says it's not in the plans. And in all truth, Frank Warren, when asked about challenging Callum Johnson for the title, he said, well, they only wanted Frank Buglioni, which seemed a bit strange. They don't want Hosea Burton, they don't want Callum Johnson, just Frank Buglioni they wanted. But he's out of the picture now, after getting demolished by Callum Johnson and losing the British title. Callum holds Commonwealth and British title now at 175. And they can't go back and fight Frank Buglioni, which I've heard could be a possibility, even though Buglioni lost, because when Hosea Burton was knocked out by Buglioni, they said, why am I going to fight the guy that you just knocked out? It's a little contradictory, isn't it? The new European champion is Dominik Bozel from Germany. He beat Serhii Demchenko from the Ukraine in March. Bozel is 27-1, 10 KOs and 1 loss by stoppage. That's his record. The only loss was to Karo Murat. Is he ready for Bozel? Not too sure. He's not a big puncher, looking at the statistics. I don't remember watching him fight, to be honest. I'm not saying that punching power is the only asset that an opponent has to worry about, but there will come a stage where we have to start narrowing down some positive step-ups for Anthony Yarde. I mean, the last guy was 26-9 and 2 draws going in. Although he was a European champion, a former European champion. The other guy before that, he had a statistically good-looking record. Warren has to be aware that people are looking at the rankings, and Yarde has that WBO European belt, which he's defended once, and it's got him a number 2 ranking. But he's not even challenged for domestic honours yet. That is a bit of a problem. I mean, it's just my opinion. I don't think that WBO European title is worth more than either the European title or the British title and the Commonwealth title. Callum Johnson has Commonwealth and British titles. He's not even ranked in no sanctioning body nowhere. Yarde is 15-0. He's 17-0. I didn't realise he was 32. I thought he was younger than that. But if he's kept himself in good shape, he could still make a few quid out of the game. But it looks like Gallagher's protecting him a little, the way he came out with a statement that Yarde is not in the immediate plans. You see, and now we've got to ask, if he's 32, you would have thought if they're looking for world honours, Callum Johnson, they'd have to get moving. They'd have to get moving. They're not ranked at all by no sanctioning body. They have to get moving. Beating Yarde would be a great stepping stone to get into one of them titles. But maybe there's a more realistic approach by Gallagher, and they maybe just see him as European level and British level, and they're cool with that. Maybe try and get a Lonsdale belt, keep him winning and get some money in his pocket. I don't know. Tried to do a little digging. Liam Conroy has the English title, and there's Bob Azajafe from Leeds. Very tricky, southpaw. I don't expect Gallagher to go for that anytime soon. I don't expect Anthony Yarde or Frank Warren to go for that anytime soon. He right now, at least at domestic level, he's the chairman of the Who Needs Him Club, as Mickey Duff once dubbed Harold Graham back in the day. Very good fighter. Gave Tony Bellew a good 12-rounder and actually floored Tony Bellew. And no one talks about him. There's quite a few British ratings and he's normally number 1, 2 or 3. But I don't know where the official British ratings are right now. I really don't. It's not on the British Boxing Border Control page. But yeah, Bob Azajafe, he's the forgotten man at 12 stone 7. Very conveniently, nobody talks about him. You know what I mean? He's tricky, very tricky. So maybe Callum might be just cool with domestic level, and if a good opportunity comes up, then they'll go for it. But they might be content with what they're doing right now. And that's fair enough. I know Frank Warren, he's looking way beyond domestic honours for Anthony Yarde. He wants world titles. He thinks Yarde is the next superstar, the next big thing in the game, and a lot of people do. Yeah? Tunde Ajayi, he definitely doesn't want to rush him. He has limited amateur experience, and he's ranked number 7 by the IBF, and apparently turned down a shot against Artur Beterbiev, and rightly so. I think Beterbiev may be a little too seasoned. But domestic, British domestic, Commonwealth, European, let's just start at domestic for now. Jose Burton is not going to beat Anthony Yarde. He's not going to beat him. He'll make it tricky for a couple of rounds. As soon as Yarde's heavier punching and natural ability kicks in, he may not stop Burton, which is not the worst thing, but, you know, it's a fight. He'll be heavily favoured to win, and I think he's got the ability to do it. I think with the right seasoning, he can go pretty far. And I'm curious. I am curious. Not to rush the guy, but at 15-0, I would have thought if you're going to take on Frank Buglioni, like, I know Buglioni called him out first, but it was still a domestic level British title, then you could take the guy who beat Buglioni or Jose Burton. But it's not my investment. A lot of people, though, now are questioning, are they hiding something? Is there chin problems, stamina problems that they're trying to fix before they throw him in with the Wolves? We're going to start doing some hangouts about potential matchups, and I think Buatsi and Yarde is going to be one of them that we're going to tackle on the hangout. Who's looked more impressive as a pro to you so far, Buatsi or Yarde? Let's bear in mind that Buatsi has only had half the fights that Yarde has had so far. Do you see a domestic clash in the future? Who wins a fight out of Callum Johnson and Anthony Yarde right now? And are Frank Warren and Joe Gallagher both trying to steer their fighters away from each other right now? What's your thoughts?